Breaking now. If you're a Lions fan and you missed this, you'll be catching up the rest of the week. Inside Hollis? Nope, inside Allen Park right now. There's one conversation that everyone is dancing around, but nobody queried the Serlo in voz alta. Can Jared Goff flip the road switch in 2025, or do we ride the same roller coaster dome brilliance at home? Turbulence outside Ford Field until it costs us again when it matters most. This isn't a midweek think piece. This is a real-time stress test of who we are under bright lights, cold wind, crowd noise, and chaos. And the clock just moved from someday to right now. Welcome back to Lions News Fan Report, the channel that bleeds Honolulu blue and talks like the fans who freeze on metal bleachers and still sing on 3rd and long. Tap in, subscribe, drop your like, turn on notifications, because today we're going straight into the quarterback's soul, the headset in his ear, and the tiny details in the huddle that decide if Detroit stays on top of the North or hands the narrative to someone else. Let's be real, Goff has been one of the best stories in football written off, traded, reinvented, and then quietly elite while the national shows were busy chasing shiny objects. Inside Ford Field, the timing is crisp, the protection is coordinated, and the play-action slices defenses like a chef's knife. The rhythm is there, the footwork hums, the ball comes out on time, and suddenly St. Brown is a surgeon. Jameson becomes a lightning strike. Laporta is a chain-moving menace. And Gibbs turns 5 yards into 15. That's the version of Detroit everyone fears. But football is a travel sport, not a home recital, and the road has a way of shaking the snow globe. Outside our dome, the variables multiply. The crowd compresses your cadence. The pass rush jumps your get-off. The wind shaves yards off throws you've hit 1,000 times in practice. And field position becomes a bar fight. The margin for error shrinks, and your quarterback has to be half scientist, half brawler. For Goff, the knock has never been talent, it's translation. Can the clean, modular, elegant offense that smothers opponents at home adapt when the road tries to make it messy? Here's where this year is different, and why the urgency today is warranted. New voice on the call sheet, same core philosophy, but the edges are sharpening. The plan isn't to turn Goff into a scrambler out of a video game. It's to make the operation more road-proof in the handful of sequences that swing gains 3rd and medium. Backed up near your own goal line, 2-minute drill with hostile noise drilling into your helmet. Red zone throws where timing windows are a beat shorter because the corner sat on your tendency. Snap to snap, it's small, boring things that turn into big headlines. The structure has to travel. Early down run efficiency that keeps you out of 3rd and 8. Motion answers that ID coverage, even when the safeties are disguising. Protection rules that account for late creepers. And hot routes that aren't just checkdowns, but daggers if the defense overcommits. If the run game hits its marks on the road 4 yards a pop, even when the box is muddy, Goff becomes the conductor again, not the soloist trying to scream over the band. The receivers have work too. Jameson must threaten outside leverage early, so corners stop squatting. Once they bail, you steal the void underneath and turn timing into YAC. St. Brown's superpower finding grass when there is. None has to be the pressure release at high volume when the headset goes silent. Laporta's stems are money versus man. On the road, you also need him to bully cloud looks, sit, and win ugly catches. Montgomery and Gibbs? They're not only runners, they're mute buttons for noise. If they pass pro clean and punish edges in the screen game, defenses lose their patience and Detroit regains tempo. And then there's Goff himself, the man in the pocket with 1,000 eyes on him and 1,000 memories around him. The adjustments are real and they're technical. Lower base on windy days, rip the glance route with conviction when the safety cheats. Trust the throwaway rather than feeding a defense that wants one low light to fuel a stadium. Remember, on the road, the spectacular is rare, the professional is what wins. Patiently beat the blitz with pre-snap answers. Punish single high by living in 2nd and 5, and stack first downs until a defense breaks its own rules. People love to make this a binary. Goff is great at home and something else on the road. It's lazier than a soft zone on 3rd and 3. context matters. Detroit's line is elite when healthy, but road rushers tee off if your cadence becomes predictable or your splits get too wide. Defenses at home sell out for one or two haymaker sacks that flip field position. The answer is not be a different quarterback. It's be the same quarterback with road armor. That's the vision being installed. Quicker in and out of the huddle. More under center on early downs when noise is at its worst. A handful of get-back-on-schedule calls that Goff can access without a check, regardless of weather, to calm a drive and reset the heartbeat. Think of it like this. At home, our fence plays jazz. On the road, we need a rock beat underneath so the solos still sing. Schedule-wise, you don't choose the climate, you choose your response. There are hostile trips where the wind swirls and the sideline heater looks like heaven. There are primetime nights where you communicate through eyes and hands because your voice won't carry. That's the lab. This is where you turn the criticism into a craft. Goff doesn't have to prove the internet wrong. He has to stack 3 or 4 road throws in the third quarter of tight games that flip the film room. A deep dig on 3rd and 9 with a free rusher. A red zone high-low where he manipulates a linebacker with a half shoulder and throws blind the grass he knows will open. A backside glance RPO when the corner peeks and regrets it immediately. Do that a few times in the right cities, and the narrative will die on its own. Coaching matters here, and Detroit's plan is not to reinvent for a headline, but to iterate for January. The menu is expanding in small ways that pay on planes and buses. More tempo when a defense is substituting slowly. More flats and slants against corners who want the hero ball pick. More heavy looks that leak Laporta into a void when backers bite. None of it works without protection, and none of it sustains without discipline. That's why you'll see emphases that feel unsexy to fans but save seasons. Fewer penalties and plus territory, better punt decisions to avoid gifting short fields, and smarter end-of-half sequences on the road where 3 points are gold bars. Let me paint 2 moments I want to see, and you do too. First, the veteran drive. Loud stadium, tie game, 8 minutes left. Goff hits a hot to St. Brown, hurries to the line, catches the defense mid-sub, tags an outside zone into a split-flow boot, resets the chains, and finishes with a patient throw to Laporta on a delay route that looks covered until it isn't. Second, the knife-in-the-dark play. Stack set, safety rotates late. Jameson stems outside like he's going to the boundary, then whips inside and the ball is there before the corner believes it. That's how you silence a crowd. Not with one miracle, but with professional violence repeated until the noise turns into disbelief. We're not naive. There will be ugly series on the road. There always are. The question is whether this version of the Lions, this quarterback, this call sheet, this locker room absorbs those punches and throws cleaner ones back. The defense's job is to buy extra possessions and keep the roof from caving in. The offense's job is to take those possessions and make them feel like theft. Field goals on the road keep you alive. Touchdowns break hearts. And this team has the bodies to do both if the process holds. Here's my stance, and I'll own it. I believe Jared Goff will change the conversation this year, not because the internet demands it, but because Detroit has built the structures that quarterbacks rely on when the elements don't care about your storyline. A run game with a mean streak. A receiver room that wins on schedule and after the catch. A tight end who is too good for single coverage. A line that, when it gets its hands on you, doesn't let go. Add a call sheet tailored to travel, and Goff's road tape is going to look like the truth we already see at home. Decisive, on time, and ruthless in the red area. Your turn, family. Do you feel it? Do you trust the tweaks, the temperament, the tiny adjustments that become big wins in loud places? Tell me below, what road throw do you need to see from Goff to believe this narrative is dead? Which role player becomes the unsung hero on hostile turf gives on a screen? Montgomery in short yardage, St. Brown in the phone booth, Jameson over the top, Laporta on the leak? Drop your take, ride with us all season, and if you're part of this community, hit subscribe so you don't miss the nights we flip the script together. We've learned to roar at home. Now let's make the road hear it too.